remember growing up, playing video games was considered the biggest waste of time by my older family members. You were seen as lazy if you spent any amount of time playing video games. It's not accepted as it was now. With meditation, I used to think meditation was something you'd only see in movies. You know those moments where the main character is getting their ass handed to them, then they focus, take a deep breath, and then proceed to beat the shit out of the villains? Well, that was my only exposure to meditation. But surprisingly, it saved my life and it got me out of depression. It made me go to therapy, and honestly, my life is better than ever. I was able to move on from my past. Suddenly, the things that bothered me were no longer an issue. And it's because of video games that I was able to get to where I am now. For me, playing video games, making music, and doing any form of working out or cardio would help me distract myself for a bit. But there was a point in my life where I just couldn't get myself to do any of my hobbies, any of my interests. On top of that, I was dealing with a just terrible addiction to weed. It was really, really getting in the way of a lot of things in my life. I was on social media for 8 hours a day. It was horrible. I just could not get myself out of this, whatever it was. It felt like hell. Well, one day, after having a screen time of 10 hours, I just decided that enough was enough. I was so burnt out on music. I was going to school for it. I was making it. I was listening to it. I was talking about it to my friends and my girlfriend. I was doing music in my sleep, right? And then my addiction to weed, this was probably the heaviest I've ever been in my life. So any type of physical activity was difficult. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And I just had so much brain fog. Well, one day, I was looking at my PlayStation and I had Final Fantasy VII on there. I had Spider-Man and I had Death's Door. So I decided, hey, I haven't played video games in a while. Why don't I just try that? And after finishing these games, I replayed the Kingdom Hearts series. I started playing some Zelda games. And eventually I got myself a Steam Deck that December. Soon enough, my library was growing and I was gaming more. I was enjoying things for the first time in years. And I just couldn't believe how convenient and fun the Steam Deck was, on top of looking amazing. I stopped smoking as much. I started walking more until I can eventually get to 10,000 steps. I was enjoying life. Music all of a sudden sounded good. It wasn't a chore. I was a gamer before, but this was different. But then it all came crashing down. I hit a wall, and that wall was being alone with my thoughts. I finally stopped my addictions, and they were very manageable, but now I had more time to think. I had more time to be in my thoughts, and it drove me fucking crazy, bro. At the same time, I was having weed withdrawal, and my dreams were crazy. My body was just sweating it all out. I had so much free time to just think. It was good and bad at the same time. And then one day, I opened up YouTube, and I see this little video talking about meditation and how to calm down your mind. So I thought, hey, you know what? Fuck it. I never actually meditate. Let's see what this is about. The first time I fucking did it, the first time I'm meditating, I'm just sitting there closing my eyes. I'm like, okay, this is dumb. Now I'm just depressed and sad. There's nothing going on. Da 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 da. My mind is going in a million directions, but 100 miles per hour. It was brutal. But then one of my friends put it as, hey, it's not controlling your thoughts. It's letting them be what they are. And that's when it clicked. Instead of fighting my thoughts, I just let them happen. It's almost like I'm watching a movie and I'm just chilling at the movie theater with my feet up. It was a different approach, and I started to enjoy it. That's when my world really started to open up. I started to have goals again. I started to improvise over music, make my beats or whatever. I had motivation to do actual things. I was doing chores. I started learning how to cook. I started learning all these new things. And then eventually I decided to go to therapy, which was scary because, you have to be vulnerable and you have to confront your past. I did all of that. I talked through all the thoughts that were keeping me up at night. I was talking about the things that were bothering me. And I discovered things that bothered me that I wasn't even aware of. I had forgotten it, or I had just pushed it to the side. I was opening up this whole new world. I was finally free. I wasn't consciously aware of it at the time, but I could attribute all my success to playing video games. It was the stepping stone that got the entire ball rolling, that made everything happen. It got me out of my depressive episode, and it would let me blow off steam. I could socialize with my friends in multiplayer games, or I could play single player games, with stories, and just distract myself, get lost in those worlds. And with the Steam Deck, I could add cheats or mods to single player games, and it breathes a whole new life to games that you've already played. It's wild what you can do with a computer and a little bit of tech savviness. And after 3 years of trying to get my life together, I'm happy to say that I'm in a good spot. I'm feeling great. And it's all because of video games. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's something that connects us all. They're not just games. They're more than that. There's something that people can connect with. There's something that people can use as a tool to self-soothe themselves. And I hope it does the same for you guys, because I love video games. I cherish them. And if you guys are going through any dark things like that, you can always, post a comment on my video or play a video game, like, hey, come and play so-and-so game with me. I'm always down. So I just hope y'all find happiness with it. I hope you can confide in those video games. If no one else has you, video games do. And I think that's beautiful.